Welcome to Radio on Fire, home of the Diamond K Show.
Diamond K in the house.
And now for your urban news and entertainment report. Here's your host, Diamond K.
Oh my goodness.
It's the Diamond K Show.
So the Iowa caucus is behind us, and Donald Trump scored a commanding win in this Iowa caucus. DeSantis just edged out Haley for second place, and that was something that they were so excited about. Second place, who's going to be second? Who's going to be second? So it looks like DeSantis. Former President Trump had a record-setting win in Iowa. His rivals far, far behind. This victory confirmed his grip on the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. I mean, this is really just a formality that we are going through in what was the lowest turnout caucus in 25 years. Participants endured life-threatening cold, dangerous driving conditions to meet in hundreds of schools, churches, and community centers across the state of Iowa. So those who were brave enough or foolish enough, depending on how you look at it, to venture out, delivered a 30-point win to Donald Trump, smashed the record for contested Iowa Republican caucus with a margin of victory exceeding Bob Dole's 13%. And this was back in 1988. So Trump smashed that. Declared the winner, and he won 98 of 99 counties. He rocked them Bamas, finishing with 51% of the vote. And Ron DeSantis won just over 21%. Nikki Haley at 19. So the grip has been tightened for Trump on the GOP nomination, though it could take several more months for anyone to formally become the party's standard bearer. Most smart people have their money on Trump in this regard. The size of the victory, it really poses a question for both DeSantis and Haley. What are you doing? I mean, hang it up. It's over. It's over. Neither candidate appears ready to leave the race, and they leave Iowa struggling to claim that they've made any progress. DeSantis has gone to South Carolina. Get ready for that. It's about 5 weeks away. And Haley's gone to New Hampshire for a primary that is next week. So both want to be Trump's strongest challenger. But all of the Republicans started off wrong. They have started off wrong, and I don't see how they can come back from it. We're going to get into that. Now, Trump has repeatedly vowed vengeance against his political opponents in recent months. However, he did offer a message of unity, at least for his party, during his speech. He said, we want to come together, whether it's Republican or Democrat or liberal or conservative, he said. We're going to come together. It's going to happen real soon. So I want to talk about this. Many people in polls, you'll see so-called smart people, ask this question about Trump's many indictments, 92 some odd indictments, and how he's using his legal troubles to actually propel his candidacy. He's using them as campaign moments instead of a lot of rallying. He's going into the courtroom and saying the message that he would have said, out on the stage, on the stump, but he's saying it outside of courtrooms. And he's framed this legal peril that he's in a certain way. And he has a tendency of repeating himself. And I talk to Trump supporters. I see Trump supporters online and on TV and radio, and they are parroting the same points that he is making. So folks think that the trials, the indictments have made Trump stronger. And in the indictment itself, the court cases themselves are not what makes him stronger. There are many politicians, crooked and such, that have found themselves in legal turmoil, found themselves in legal jeopardy. It didn't make them stronger. But what Trump has done, it's been his reaction to said legal peril. When he's had this legal exposure, when he's had these indictments, he's reacted in a way that most people don't. Most politicians run and cower when this happens. The party runs and cowers or puts pressure on the candidate, the politician, to do this. Trump doesn't react this way no matter what happens. He fights back, and you see that even back in 2016 when there was the release of the tape, the Access Hollywood tape. He reacted in a different way. So whatever it is that he does, he attacks it and reacts and then continues it. He has no shame. And eventually the people come along with him. And that's what's happened. That's what happened with all of these court cases. And it did not help things for his opponents in the Republican nomination process. It did not help the fact that they towed the same line that he was towing early on. Had they attacked it then, it wouldn't have been so ingrained in people's heads. So now when they're going to try to attack it, it's already baked in the cake. Timing is everything, and they've lost the time. They've lost the time. Now, I don't want people to get confused, and I've said this many times before. What works in the primary does not, will not, cannot work in the general election. When you're talking to a bunch of Republican sycophants, a bunch of Republican loyalists, of course, whatever Trump says, they're going to go with it. Well, at least in terms of Iowa, 51% will. But when you talk to general election, that means that you have more Democrats, more independents involved, and the wider group of people are not going to all be Republican sycophants. And that is the challenge here. Trump has not added to his coalition. He has not. He has subtracted from it. So when we get to the general election, no matter how strong he looks right now, when you open it up to the wide group of this country, he's going to have different results. And that's when he usually gets sad and starts talking about the conspiracy and stop the steal and all that, because he doesn't fully understand the way our political system works. Hopefully, he's got some people around him that can explain it to him. Hopefully. So the GOP contest has moved to New Hampshire. They will hold the first in the nation primary on January 23rd. The field has been shrinking. Vivek Ramaswamy suspended his campaign after his disappointing fourth place finish, and he endorsed Trump. I don't know why he was surprised. The writing was on the wall, has been on the wall. DeSantis, as I said, head to South Carolina. The February 24th contest in South Carolina is going to be very important. I think that's going to be make or break for Nikki Haley. I think it's going to be make or break for DeSantis. Haley plans to compete in New Hampshire. She needs to do well there. She needs to come in second there if she's going to be able to justify staying in the race. She hopes for that, and we'll see. But the balancing act that Trump may have to manage in the months ahead. Now, he's expected to be in court in New York, but at the same time, He's got a race to run at this at one point, and then there are multiple legal challenges facing him. It's not just the E. Jean Carroll case. He's got a lot of things going on. After visiting court, Trump flew to New Hampshire to hold a rally yesterday. Trump made a courtroom visit, part of his campaigns, as I said, and he's going to court voluntarily, at least twice a week while his opponents campaigned in Iowa. He was doing that. This strategy portrayed him as the victim. Oh, he loves to be the victim. Claims that he's the victim of a politicized legal system. But what we've got to understand and we've got to recognize is that the things that he has been accused of, the things that he has done, is what brought him here. It's what brought him here. Now, at least for Republican voters, this strategy works. But as I said, when we get to later in this election season, and this is opened up to the general public, you're going to get some different views on this. Now, Trump has shown strength among Iowa's urban, small town, and rural communities, and many of those communities he will perform well. I don't understand why, but evangelical Christians seem to still support him. It's very interesting. The majority of the caucus goers identify with Trump's Make America Great Again movement, and we're going to see that resonate with folks across the country. Trump's success, it tells a very remarkable story of a Republican Party that is unwilling or unable to move on from this very flawed frontrunner. Now let's remember, he lost in 2020 to Biden, fueling a constant barrage of chaos. He encouraged his supporters to carry out a deadly attack on the U.S. Capitol. And the Republicans are poised to nominate this guy again. Faces 91 felony charges across 4 criminal cases. And this is the party of law and order. Supposedly, allegedly. The U.S. Supreme Court is weighing on whether states have the ability to block Trump from the ballot for his role in sparking the January 6, 2021 insurrection on the U.S. Capitol. He's facing these criminal charges, as I said, in Washington and Atlanta for efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And Republicans have made this guy once again the standard bearer for their party. Trump has been recently increasingly echoing authoritarian leaders' mindset. He has framed his campaign as one of retribution, vengeance, revenge. He has spoken openly about using the power of government to pursue his political enemies. And he does it with a laugh, a smile, a joke. He has repeatedly harnessed rhetoric once used by the despicable Adolf Hitler. He has made the argument that immigrants entering the U.S. illegally are poisoning the blood of our country. He recently shared a word clout last week to his social media highlighting revenge, power, and dictatorship. We're at a very interesting time. We're at a very, very interesting time. Election season is upon us. Interestingly, many of Trump's supporters claim that God called us to support Trump. Yes, I don't know any God that would encourage someone like Trump to be elevated once again. But I love to know your thoughts. Hit me up in the comment section, of course. On all social media, I'm at The Diamond K Show, djdiamondk at gmail.com. Of course, radio on fire.tv. Anywhere you get your podcast, just search for The Diamond K Show. So we're talking about elections, talking about the very important 2024 contest, and Joe Biden and Donald Trump, I think, is where this thing is headed. That's where I think this thing is headed. But don't forget, the best way to support what we do here at Radio on Fire is to become a member. It gives you access to our daily bonus show from yours truly, the regular show with no commercials. You also get access to our entire archive dating back to 2007. It's a long time. And plenty of other awesome perks like the On Fire Mix Show. You get the mix show, you get bonus mixes, all of that. You can go to joindiamondk.com. That is joindiamondk.com. So we also have a voicemail number, 443-492-9442. Leave me a message. You'd like to check out those. Sometimes you can't call into the show, or you can't send an email, but you want to pick up the phone and let me know how you feel. All good there. Of course, you listen to the Diamond K Show on ONFIRE-TV. You can check us out, radioonfire.tv. Welcome back to the show. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here. Of course, you can always check us out on social media at the Diamond K Show. Love to hear from you. And now we're talking about the 2020 United States primary elections, the Republican side. Donald Trump is leading now with 20 delegates. Now, 1,215 delegates are needed to win the nomination. Trump has 20. Ron DeSantis has 9. Nikki Haley has 8. So that is where things are with regards to the nomination. Now, presidential primaries and caucuses are being organized by state Republican parties and legislatures to select their delegates to the 2024 Republican National Convention. This, of course, would determine the party's nominee for president in the 2024 election. So Republicans are on this path, and leading the charge for these misguided Republicans is seemingly Donald Trump. Now, he is currently in court. The E. Jean Carroll case, the second defamation trial against Trump, is different than the first one. Now, he's back in court, and E. Jean Carroll is testifying in this trial. Now, this trial decides how much money in damages former President Trump must pay this former columnist. Now, Trump, who has been juggling between the campaign trail and courtrooms, another week of that, is on trial for his 2019 defamatory statements about her sexual assault allegations. Trump is someone that likes to run his mouth, but many times it gets him in trouble. A judge has already found Trump liable. Now, there was a separate trial last year, 2023. The jury found that Trump sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll and defamed her in 2022 statements. Judge Lewis Kaplan said that the verdict will carry over to this defamation trial, so the trial will be limited to damages. How much money is he going to have to pay? So some of you may wonder, who is E. Jean Carroll? Who's this? Carroll is a former magazine columnist, and she alleges that Trump raped her in the department store, Bergdorf Goodman. This happened in the mid 90s, so a little while ago. She also claimed that he defamed her when he denied her claim. Carol is seeking more than $10 million in damages. You heard me right, $10 million in damages. So Carol talked about some threatening messages she received. I thought I was going to get shot, she said. E. Carroll's lawyer showed the jury harassing messages that Carol received about her allegations against the former president. She testified to receiving these messages, including one on June 21st, 2019, the day that Trump made one of the statements issued in this trial. During this moment, Trump leaned over to his attorney, reacting as she was speaking. Carol's voice broke as she described another violent message she received around the conclusion of the trial last year. The judge asked Trump to keep his voice down when talking with his lawyer in front of the jury. A lot of theatrics, a lot of theater, a lot of foolishness going on. The judge told Trump to take special care not to speak too loudly when talking to his attorney during the testimony. He did not want the jury to hear them, but Trump was reacting physically and loudly during her testimony. This is the type of stuff that his supporters eat up. But for the first hour of her testimony, Trump was looking straight forward, passing notes to the attorney, and leaning over to talk to his lead counsel. Otherwise, he did not appear to make any physical reactions to the testimony, but he's there to stare her down, try to intimidate her, and do the mob boss thing that he's been doing. It is amazing. Can you imagine if Barack Obama had charges like this? Democrats would not support him because Obama has so much class that if he was facing charges like this, he would just not react the way Trump does. Should Democrats take a page out of Trump's book with regards to reacting to controversies? Are they too quick to step down when something happens? Maybe. Carol explains why she included Trump in her 2019 book. E. Jean Carroll explained to the jury that her 2019 release, What Do We Need Men For? A Modest Proposal, and how she came to include Donald Trump in it. She testified in this civil trial to decide how much is supposed to be paid. That's what her testimony is for. But she said that I was overwhelmed with the honesty of women, and I thought, my God, I'm such a hypocrite. They're telling me their opinions. I'm holding back. And then I said, I'm 95 years old, and if I don't do it now, I will never do it. She said, exaggerating about her age, but she was trying to say she's old now and she's got to do it. The judge stopped Carol, granting an objection to Trump's attorney when the writer began to describe the altercation she said she had with Trump in this luxury department store. The judge instructed the jury that they've already been told the facts that they're expected to accept. But tension between the judge and Trump's attorney continued, and it is just a fascinating thing that we are witnessing, a fascinating time. Carol said that she's in court to stop Trump from telling lies about her. She says he's continued to lie. He lied last month. He lied on Sunday. He lied yesterday. Well, I mean, Trump is a liar. But Trump's attorney, as I said, continued to spar with the judge over postponing the session for the funeral. And it is just insane what we are witnessing. Insane. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Of course, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, Threads at the Diamond K Show. I'm here weekdays at 6 p.m. Of course, you can get the show free everywhere you get podcasts. But if you want to dive deeper, you want to get a little bit more, you get our show, the Diamond K Show, ad free, as well as the bonus show. This is additional content strictly for our members. Join diamondk.com. Join diamondk.com. I will be back here tomorrow, of course. And for our members, I will see you on the bonus show. Everybody else, I will see you tomorrow.